Hi everybody, I'm Leah of seejanedrill, and today, well, we're going to repair this hole, but what makes this unique, it's drywall, but what we have on it is this is what they call an orange pill texture. And what makes it a challenge is that it's really kind of difficult to patch an existing wall and then have it blend in perfectly. And I'm going to show you how to do that right now. Okay, so what I've done is I've squared up my damaged area. You're going to want to do the same thing. Have a nice clean edge here. And what I have in my hand here, that's what they call a drywall plug. And it just inserts into the damaged area. But again, just make certain that you square up the damaged wall perfectly and then make your plug. Okay, what I have here is I have what's called a setting type joint compound. Okay, it's going to set up rather quickly, and that's what you want to use on this particular situation. So you want to make certain that you apply the setting type joint compound very liberally, because we need something for our drywall plug to stick to. Now don't be concerned that it's rough. It's not going to matter. We're going to take care of all this. Believe me, when it's done, it'll be nicely blended in. Okay, now once your plug is in place, now we have to really embed the edges. The edges of that drywall paper, we want to really embed it in the joint compound here. So what we're going to do is we're just going to press down. Don't be afraid to apply pressure, because you really want it to stick. I'm going to come down this edge here, clean that up, apply a little more pressure. And now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go across it. Okay, I've got my plug in place. Now, don't worry if it's a little rough. Actually, it being a little rough is probably going to help the second coat adhere better. It's going to key it in place. So don't be concerned about that. Now, we're going to let this first coat set up, harden, then we're going to come back with a second and a third coat. Okay, so it's set up very nicely. Now it's time for me to apply my second coat. Now, we're not worried yet about smoothing it out. All I'm concerned with at this point is covering the patch, okay? I feel real comfortable with that. That's a really nice second coat. Now the third coat that we put on is going to start to knock down the hard lines here, like right there, and smooth it out. Okay, my second coat is dry. Now it's time to apply a very, very thin third coat. It's going to knock down some of these high areas and really disguise it. Okay, so our third coat of joint compound is dry. That's it. There won't be any more coats. This is pretty nice and smooth because remember, we're going to be adding our orange pill texture, and it'll hide a lot of the imperfections. Now what I want to do is I want to make certain that my edges of my joint compound here transition very nicely to the orange pill. And to accomplish that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a wet paintbrush and I'm just going to paint the edges. And that's going to help this transition very nicely. Okay, so what I've got here is just a paintbrush. And what I'm going to do is it's just damp. It's not really sopping wet. It's just damp. And that's how you want your brush to be. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go along the edges here. It's going to help when I go to lay down my orange pill texture. And I just want to hit the perimeter. What I want to tell you is this. If you notice, there's a dark line here, there's a dark line here. That's called a bald spot. But we're not worried about that because it's not a raised ridge. It may appear to be so, but it's not. It's completely tapered. So when we go to spray on our orange pill and we knock that orange pill down and paint the surface, these bald spots are going to disappear. Now, I've got an imperfection here, and I've just got a little bit of a ridge here, and the truth is the orange peel texture is probably going to hide that. But I'll tell you what, I'm going to take a damp brush and I'm just going to get rid of that little ridge there. So I've wet it a little bit, and I'm going to go back over it with a knife, and that's knocked that down. I want to get this as well. And again, I just want to put a little water on there, just a little water to knock it down a little bit. Again, our texture is going to hide most of that. Then I'm going to take my knife and just there we go. That's it. Okay, now comes time to apply the texture. And this is a texture in a can. You can purchase it at any home improvement store or hardware store. Just make certain that you get an orange peel texture because it also comes in popcorn as well. Now I'm going to apply this and I'm going to show you how to lay it down. Okay, so I'm holding up the can because with this particular brand, it has a unique feature, and it's this lever here. And what it does is it allows you to control how heavy the orange peel will be. If you want a light texture, you want to turn it clockwise, for a medium texture to the middle, and then for a heavier texture counterclockwise all the way to the left. Okay, so it's always best to do a test spray. I have a piece of canvas up, and I just want to take a look at the pattern first before I commit to my actual repair. No matter what product you use, make certain you read the directions carefully. Now with this particular product, 24 inches, 36 inches away from the actual spray area is best. So I'm just going to take a couple test shots just to get an idea of how heavy my pattern is going to be, and then I'm going to take it from there. Now, the thing is, you want to be random with it. You don't want to concentrate just in one area. You want to really move the spray around, because that's going to allow it to blend better with the repair area. Now, to tell you the truth, I like that, and I think that that is going to be the heaviness of my particular orange peel. Everything's dry. I like the way the edges blend in very nice. Now I'm going to concentrate my spray in this general area. I don't want to travel too far outside the patch. I want it to look as natural as possible when I go to lay down the orange peel. So let's get going with it. Okay, I think that's for the most part pretty good. I think I just want to get around the edges just a little bit more so it looks more natural. I'm very, very satisfied. I do feel like I could use a little bit more here, but overall it's pretty good. I'm going to give it one more zap, and that should do it. Okay, so that's our spray, all right? But now we have to lay it down, but I want to wait a minute. I want to give it a little bit of time before I actually lay it down. Now I'm going to lay it down with a taping knife, but let's give it a little time to set. Not much time, 5-10 minutes, that's about it. It's at the point where it's time to lay down. We want to give it more of an orange peel texture. Let me show you how it's done. Lightly glaze over the repair area. That's all you want to do. You want to just lightly glaze over it with your knife. And we're just laying it down a little bit. That's it. Okay, I've moved in close because I want to show you what the process is. You're just lightly grazing over the spray texture to lay it flat. And that's what creates the orange peel texture. It's really important not to overwork it. And that's really about it. Now, what we'll do is we'll allow this to dry. It only is going to take about 30 minutes for it to dry to the point where we can paint it. And that's what I'm going to do next. So that's it. Our texture is complete. Our patch is blended in very well. We've completely painted the surface. And I got to tell you, this is a very good looking orange peel patch. This is Leah saying, you can do this. See you next time.